Hello YouTube. Today is November 29th. So this is video number 29 in my 30 in 30 series, which is 30 videos in the month of November for all 30 days for Trans Awareness Month. Today I thought I would talk about the one and only experience I've had with the TSA, sort of trans while flying. So the only time that I have flown in a female presentation is last year when I went out to Yale. I flew from Chicago to LaGuardia, and I actually had no problems with security at O'Hare. So, my girlfriend and I showed up at O'Hare. We checked in, got our baggage, and then, checked our baggage and then went through security and had no problems. I think I got kind of a funny look when I handed my ID and the ticket, but, no big deal. Coming back, though, when we were in the line for security at LaGuardia, there was this older gentleman in front of me, and he had a suitcase with him, and he had given his identification and his ticket to the agent, I guess, at the beginning of the line, and had set his bag down, and then he got the information back, and he went and got in line. And I came in right behind. I gave my ID, I gave my ticket, and got in line, behind him. And it wasn't long after I got in line. There was like a couple people behind me. They realized that his bag was still there, which is a big no-no in an airport. You don't leave a bag anywhere. So they realized it was his, and he was an old man, and so they brought it back over to him. And at the time, they had the backscatter X-ray machines, the ones that show your actual body, and a metal detector. Both lines were open, and I was relieved because I got to go through a metal detector at O'Hare, and I was concerned about going to the backscatter machines because I didn't want to get, I didn't want there to be any weirdness about my body. So they get the gentleman back his bag, and then we're waiting. Another couple minutes goes by, and then this person comes up to me, the TSA agent comes up to me and asks me for my ID and my ticket again. And of course, I'm freaking out. I had a carry letter with me from my my doctor at Howard Brown. That it basically just says, Brin is transitioning. Please respect her with pronouns, etc. But I was freaking out, like, oh my God, they're going to pull me out, and they're going to give me, like, a strip search, and they're going to do me, all of this other stuff. Like, I was just, flop sweats. Like, I had no idea what was going to go on. And so they hand me the ticket back, and as they're handing me the ticket back, they close the metal detector line, and now everybody has to go through the X-ray machines. So I think a combination of this gentleman leaving his bag and me having to, my gender marker and name not matching my appearance, caused this whole thing. But, I walked through, I stuck my arms out, and didn't have any problem. Like, nobody, pulled me aside for a special pat down or anything like that. But all in all, it was actually a pretty decent experience. I was just terrified, silly, at the prospect of having my trans status being called out at the airport. And, I'm not the only trans person who's flown, and I know that the TSA has, different, they've got a policy in place for dealing with trans people, but, I didn't want there to be anything worth, making a fuss over. I didn't want to be the fuss, And I will point out, when the agent came and asked me for my ticket and my license, he did call me ma'am. So, there was that, at least that much respect, The only other time I've had a problem with the TSA, I was traveling as a man, and I got pulled aside. So I'd gone down to Huntsville, Alabama for a training session for my job, and I have a CPAP machine, continuous positive air pressure, because I have a mild form of sleep apnea. So I wear this mask, and it keeps me breathing and makes me sleep better. So I had brought it with me, and on the way down I had checked it, and then on the way back I wasn't thinking, and I just put it in my carry-on. Well, apparently they don't like it when you put your carry-on through the X-ray machine, and there's all of these electronics in a very small bundle. So they pulled it out. They asked me what this was, and then they swabbed it and pulled me aside, and they're like, we need you to take off your shoes and your belt. Or no, I already taken off my shoes, but like, you can't put anything back on yet. Take off your jacket. Come over here in this, sort of separate, special area. Now, granted, it was like clear plexiglass, so everybody could see, so it's not like I was going to get a strip search, but, they had cordoned me off, and they asked me if I knew why my bag should be testing positive for gunpowder and explosives. And I was freaking out, but what I realized was that the class that I was taking was next to the National Guard Armory in Huntsville, and there had been this huge explosion one of the days when I was in class there. So I'm sure some of the debris had gotten on me, and then it got onto the machine when I was sleeping and whatever else. But I'll tell you what, I was freaked out like crazy because I was running late to catch that plane. Thankfully, I made it to my flight, but yeah, I was freaking out like crazy. Yeah, so that's my experiences with the TSA. Really, I wanted to talk about the trans experience, but, I did have the one frightening one. So all in all, pretty decent experience, much better than I thought I was going to encounter. So, okay, that's all. Tomorrow is day 30, and I am trying to work up something special. I want to have a Google Plus Hangout on air, which is going to be basically like live streaming into my YouTube channel. It's going to happen tomorrow evening sometime, somewhere probably around 7:30 Central. Check my Twitter, Brin Convenient, and I will make sure that I update there once I have an actual time set up. And I'm going to try and get, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to try and get a couple of people from BGN to join me. So you guys can give us questions and leave us comments in real time, and we can respond, and there'll be a sort of ask the by gender, person. And we'll have a hashtag, I think, that we'll throw out there that we can keep checking on Twitter as well. So hopefully you guys will all be able to, come to YouTube at that time, and we'll be able to, interact and jump on. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a long month. I didn't think I was going to get to 30 videos, and so far I haven't quite, but, I'm getting there. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much. Love you all.